Moscopole was a cultural and commercial center of the Aromanians at its peak in the mid-18th century. It hosted the first printing press in the Balkans outside Istanbul, educational institutions and numerous churches, and became a leading center. Historians have attributed the decline of the city to anarchy, poverty, and feuds causing a series of raids by Muslim Albanian bandits that almost destroyed the town in 1769 following the participation of the residents in the preparations for the Orlov Revolt in 1770, and culminated with the abandoning and destruction of Moscopole in 1788. Moscopole, once a prosperous city, was reduced to a small village by Ali Pasha. According to another opinion, the city's decline was mainly due to the relocation of the trade routes in Central and Eastern Europe following the aforementioned raids. Today, Moscopole, known as Moscopole, is a small mountain village, and along with a few other local settlements is considered a holy place by local Orthodox Christians. It was one of the original homelands of the Aromanian diaspora. Moscopole is now a small village in Kos County and a subdivision of modern Kos municipality in southeastern Albania. The population of the municipal subdivision at the 2011 census was 1,058. Geography. Moscopole is located at a distance of 21 kilometers from Kos, in the mountains of southeastern Albania, at an altitude of 1,160 meters. Because of its high altitude, Moscopole is a ski resort. The municipality of Moscopole consists of the villages Moscopole, Shipski, Krushov, Gornomad and Lavda. History. Prosperity. Demographics. Although located in a rather isolated place in the mountains of southern Albania, the city rose to become the most important center of the Aromanians. Moscopole was a small settlement until the end of the 17th century, but afterwards showed a remarkable financial and cultural development. Some writers have claimed that Moscopole in its glory days had as many as 70,000 inhabitants. Other estimates placed its population closer to 35,000, but a more realistic number may be closer to 3,500. The truth may be closer to this number than to 70,000. Moscopole was certainly not among the largest Balkan cities of the 18th century, according to the Swedish historian Johan Thunman, who visited Moscopole and wrote a history of the Aromanians in 1774. Everyone in the city spoke Aromanian. Many also spoke Greek, which was used for writing contracts. In fact, the city is said to have been mainly populated by Vlachs, Aromanians. The fact was confirmed by a 1935 analysis of the family names shows that the majority of the population were indeed Vlachs, but there were also Greeks and Albanians present in the city. Economy. Historically, the main economic activity of the city was the livestock farming. The alternative name, Voskopolis, means city of shepherds. This activity led to the establishment of wool processing and carpet manufacturing units and the development of tanneries, while other locals became metal workers, silver and copper smiths. During the middle of the 18th century, the city became an important economic center whose influence spread over the boundaries of the Archbishopric of Ohrid, and reached further the Ottoman-ruled East and Orthodox world. The trade involved as far as the Archduchy of Austria, the Kingdom of Hungary, and the Upper Saxony. Until 1769, the town traded on a large scale with renowned European commercial centers of the time, such as Venice, Vienna and Leipzig. Culture. A printing press was also operating in Moscopole, which was the second one in Ottoman Europe after that of Constantinople. This establishment produced a total of 19 books, mainly services to the saints but also the introduction of grammar by the local scholar Theodore Cavalier. The later became director of the city's prestigious educational institution, which from 1744 was known as New Academia Hellenic and frontisterian, sponsored by the wealthy merchants of the diaspora. Moreover, the city hosted an orphanage known as Orphanodai or Ekaterion, probably the first in the post-Byzantine Orthodox world, a hospital and a total of 24 churches. Her cultural effervescence arose in Moscopole, and many authors published their works in both the Greek language and Aromanian, written in the Greek alphabet. In 1770, the first dictionary of 4 modern Balkan languages was published here. Daniel Moscopolides, a Vlach-speaking native priest of Moscopole, compiled the quadrilingual lexicon of Greek, Vlach, Bulgarian and Albanian, that aimed at the Hellenization of the non-Greek-speaking Christian communities in the Balkans. Due to the high level of intellectual activity and Greek education, Moscopole was nicknamed as New Athens and New Mistra. Decline. The 1769 sacking and pillaging by Muslim Albanian troops was just the first of a series of attacks, which culminated with the razing of 1788 by the troops of Ali Pasha. Moscopole was practically destroyed by this attack, while some of its commerce shifted to nearby Kos and Berat. The survivors were thus forced to flee, most of them emigrating mainly to Thessaly and Macedonia. Some of the commercial elite moved to the Archduchy of Austria and the Kingdom of Hungary, especially to the respective capitals of Vienna and Budapest, but also to Transylvania, where they had an important role in the early national awakening of Romania. The city never rose back to its earlier status. However, a new school was established at the end of the 18th century whose headmaster in 1802 was Daniel Moscopolides. This school functioned the following decades, thanks to donations and bequests by Baron Simon Sinas, a member of the diaspora. In 1914, Moscopole was part of the Autonomous Republic of Northern Epirus. It was destroyed again in 1916 during World War I by the marauding Albanian bands of Salibutka. During the Greco-Italian War, on November 30, 1940, the town was controlled by the advancing Greek forces. In April 1941, after the capitulation of Greece, Moscopole returned to Axis control. The remaining buildings were razed 3 times during the partisan warfare of World War II, once by Italian troops and twice by the Albanian nationalist Balkans organization. Of the old city, 6 Orthodox churches, a bridge and a monastery survive. In 2002, the 5 standing churches were put on the World Monuments Fund's watch list of 100 most endangered sites. Modern town. Today, Moscopole is just a small mountain village in the Albanian Kos County. The population at the 2011 census was 1,058. In 2005, the municipality had a population of 2,218, whereas the settlement itself has a population of around 500. Memories of the city of Moscopole still remain an important part of the culture of Vlachs. During the recent years, a Greek language institution operates in Moscopole as a product of a joint Greek-Albanian initiative. Architecture. The remaining churches in the region are among the most representative of 18th-century ecclesiastical art in the Balkans. Characteristically, the murals are comparable to that in the large monastic centers at Mount Athos and Metaura in Greece. The architectural design is in general specific and identical, a large 3-aisled basilica with a gable roof. The church is of single apse, with a wide altar apse and internal niches that serve as prothesis and diaconocon. Most churches also have one niche, each on the northern and southern walls, next to the prothesis and the diaconocon. Along the southern side there is an arched porch. Of the California 24 to 30 churches of Moscopole, besides the St. John the Baptist monastery in the vicinity of the town, only 5 have survived into modern times: St. Nicholas, Dormition of the Theotokos, St. Athanasius, St. Michael or Archangels Michael and Gabriel. Saint Elijah. Some of the ruined churches include the following: St. Paraskevi, patron saint of the town and probably the first church built in Moscopole in the 15th century. St. Charalampis, outer walls partially survived. St. Euthymius, completely destroyed. Climate. There is a combination of mild valley climate in the lower parts and true alpine climate in the higher regions. Favorable climate conditions make this center ideal for winter, summer, sport, recreation, tourism, so there are tourists during the whole year, not only from areas of Albania, but also foreigners. Notable Moscopolites: Mihail Boyargi, Ioannis Chalkias, Theophrastos Georgiades, Daniel Moscopolites, Theodore Cavaliatis, Georgios Constantinidis, Dionysios Mantokas, Orthodox bishop, Ioachim Martianos, Orthodox bishop. Sinas family. Notable members of this family were Georgios Sinas and Simon Sinas, Demetrios Procopio, scholar, Nectarios Topos, Konstantinos Sikanos, Konstantin Uta, Konstantin Smolensky, a Smolenic, high-rank officer of the Greek army in the Greco-Turkish War of 1897 and the Cretan Revolution. Gallery.